What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and we are going to be doing a deep dive on the particular stock ticker that you see constantly coming up with the cruise line industry. That's going to be Carnival Corporation, or ticker symbol CCL. And this one is, again, I've been kind of wrong about in the sense of it's really bounced up tremendously since its lows of like $5 or $6. It was some interesting trading activity that was happening last week. We had one initial trader betting nearly $230,000 on some very long-term dated call options that are going up to around the $30 call price that are expiring beginning of next year, so 216 days out. And I kind of wanted to show off this wonderful new platform that I've been using as well to kind of give me a better sense of more of my longer term plays. So this is Conify, completely free to use as of right now. If you do sign up and they email you regarding if you have any feedback, if you let them know that Ken from the Dyslexic Investor told you about this, things like that, kind of get my name out there to them, because I'm telling how much I love their product and I want to incorporate it more into my videos, and I absolutely love it. That being said, we're going to do a basically breakdown. Timestamps are going to be below. We're going to be doing a very quick fundamental look at using this particular platform here, and then we're going to be jumping into the charts and seeing how it fares on if it's worth a buy, an opportunity, and so forth. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the fundamental side of things. This Ko-Fi is wonderful. You can make your own complete new dashboards. You can add it to different dashboards. We'll do an overview of this in a little bit. But it kind of gives you a very simple market layout here on the stock here. You can add a couple indicators, things like that. I haven't done any of that yet, but we'll look here at the chart in a second. Not really interested in that. You kind of give a basic, very breakdown over here. What's the beta compared to SPX, which is a beta of anything like over 1.5 is extremely high. You can see that the short interest is fairly high as well compared to, a lot of other companies. So 14.9%. That's actually higher than actually what Tesla is right now, which is kind of strange, right? You get a great little thing here: valuations and capital structure. Of course, this is going to be a very debt-driven business as of right now, because they had to go into a lot of the equity markets to be able to get a very long-term debt to basically kind of hold them over. And since earnings is coming out, I believe the 18th or the 15th, the 18th of next week, I believe. I think it actually should say on here. What does it say? Saturday the 20th? No, it's not the 20th. I think it's the 18th is the next earnings date. That's not correct. There's no way there's an earnings on a Saturday. Really? Okay, that's very strange. All right, anyways, so we can go ahead and jump to some financial information. They make this so simple here. They basically break it down here on all the balance sheets, the cash flows, and things like that. Since the last quarter they reported was February 29th of 2020, there wasn't a really large impact yet to their overall cash flow, to their overall understanding and their balance sheets, in the same sense of being closed down, I think 2 or 3 weeks later after this quarter actually came out. So this will be interesting to see once we do an analysis after the quarter to kind of see on how the balance sheet fares from that. The other thing is too, because we can kind of run into, is the estimates. This is again, very opinionated stuff here in the sense of what people think analysts have here. So out of basically, 22 people, 15 saying hold, 3 of them saying strong sell, and 4 of them are buying. Then you can kind of see here on what their estimates matrix is, again, on what their quarter could potentially be like, what the street's thinking, what the humans are thinking, and what are the mere mortals thinking of this particular stock. Being very mindful of, again, it's going to be very difficult since they haven't really been able to maintain their growth due to the overall pandemic of everything. And then last, we can look at the overall performance. So this is going to be performance, which is going to be kind of leading us into the stock price. I have Royal Caribbean here. I have Norwegian Cruise Line as well. So we have blue, pink, and orange. you can kind of see they all basically show the same reflection here on the same, really being down and really showing the same chart pattern, with actually Royal Caribbean performing slightly better, but again, it was at a slightly higher price starting out before this overall pandemic started. So that being said, I hope this was a lot of interesting stuff here. Definitely check this out. I'll put a link in the description, quick little link there. And if they give any feedback, please mention my name again. We'll greatly appreciate that very, very, very much. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the chart here. So the trade I wanted to talk about indirectly that kind of spiked my attention on Friday, even though a lot of things were being smacked left and right. This individual trader basically within 7 minutes of the market open went about 887 calls at $2.60. Again, buying it at it was a market order, a market lift, in the sense of the 15th of what is this? Yeah, Jan 2021 at the $30 call price. So that's again 216 days out. That is a very far out prediction. Again, I don't think he has a crystal ball, but he's putting his money where his mouth is for sure. So if he hit confirm and send that, we can look at, again, that's a $231,000 bet that the stock or CCL will be going up in the, not the near term, but by the end of the year. All right, now paging over to the overall stock and the technical analysis here. We're just going to be starting really fresh here. I took off all my previous lines, price targets, and so forth, so we started completely fresh. So we want to do very first thing that we like to do is, of course, the Fibonacci retracement, which I'm lost here. You see here we came up exactly to the 38.2 percentile move, and they came really steeply down. Potentially really wanted it to come to the 50 percentile move, which is around the 30-50 level, which I think this is where the individual is projecting that this will be within, again, the 200 plus days. So that is a very significant movement. Again, everything is really well below the 200-day exponential moving average, which is not the world's greatest trend, but with a lot of Robinhood investors and Wall Street Bets folks putting their stimulus checks into the market and really kind of capitulating and creating a very speculative market within these companies, it has got some of its mojo back. For the last 2 or 3 weeks, it was really trading well above the 21 and the really well against the 5 and 8 exponential moving average, having multiple gap up days. It's usually a sign of issues ahead when you gap up 3 or 4 days in a row, because that's just going to be easy money for people to trade in and out of. We saw that with the overall market correction this week as well. Kind of came down, held the 21 quite well, and now kind of bouncing off of that. I really like that pattern. It's actually fairly strong here. Looking at if it can stay above 17, we're going to call it 1750-ish. If it can continue holding above this, we do see the parabolic SARR is above the current stock price, meaning there could be some more downward pressure. Also, the RSI really did bounce off fairly strong around the 50 point move, and same with the volume oscillator, showing very good signs there as well. Now switching to a weekly chart. This is of course going to give us a much larger view of the previous swing high to swing low. Again, this is a weekly chart from the past 3 years. We're going to go swing high to swing low. Bada bing, what happens? We have the overall movement here right above the 23.6. Again, nowhere near the 50 percentile move, because that's going to be around the $32 level. So it's not that far off from the previous 36 level. Potentially would love to see it back up to the 50 percentile move on the weekly side, so it's around $40. That being said, the downside is going to be somewhat of an ongoing pressure. The momentum has changed, which is a good sign that this has some potential mojo again back in it. It's got some steam. It's rowing ahead, lack of better words. We do see the Chaikin money flow still being negative, which we would like to see that kind of curve up and go positive. RSI is flat. Again, the momentum's curling up. Momentum's trying to, not want to say break out, but continue higher. The trend is fairly much intact in the sense of, again, we had that 2 or 3 days ago where it kind of broke out the 3 deviation channel, and normally you guys know if you get to outside of these bands, again, the red line being the 3 deviation, you really have to kind of come back to earth. And again, that's exactly what happened. And it really bounced hard off the 21, which we would really like to see. Would I be going out and buying the same $30 call that this individual is doing? Maybe. Again, he just got a really good price on it because he bought it initially right when the market opened. Again, he bought that at 9:37 on the 12th, which was again Friday. The $30 call for around 260. We can kind of look at that now. The let me do $30 call is around, not substantially higher. It's going to be around like 280 to 285. So again, $20 higher from what he currently paid. So he's actually making money. It's the 39 delta, or just let's call it 40. So it's kind of giving it a 40% chance of it being at or in the money potentially when this is all said and done. We'll see what happens. I am very excited if these companies can come back, because again, these have been beaten down. I don't think this is going to be like a Hertz situation. They really did raise a lot of capital. The only thing that is somewhat worrisome is this question mark on their earnings. Again, they completely suspended the dividend, so there's no dividend payments currently now. But that being said, this is a cruise line company. This is not like a Facebook or Google or anything like that, where they're actually going to see really exponential growth. This is really going to be relied to the overall economy opening back up, people going out and willing to take up vacations and get on these cruise ships and things like that. I'm sure that the quarter and their earnings report is going to be really heavily around safety to the passengers, safety to the crew, and just making everyone feel comfortable and clean on their cruises and so forth. Again, guys, if you have any comments, questions, please leave it down below. If you want to check out the description box, we have a fantastic Discord page, Patreon page. Again, that link to Conify, which is like the Bloomberg terminal for this Bloomberg terminal without the Bloomberg pricing, and then also we have some great live streams coming up. Again, we have the Sunday live stream coming up around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, PM, that is, tomorrow. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.